Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how I made this little cute Valentine treat holder. Now the label I found free on the internet and it was from a website called The Idea Room, but I found the link on the internet, but then you had to go to Facebook and like the page and then go and hunt for the label, which was a bit of a faff. I'll put the link to the Idea Room in the information below this video, and if you don't see it, press on the button that says show more and it will be in there. But if you go on the internet and search and use one of the search engines, all as I typed in was free printable Valentine labels and loads come up. So this was a PDF, so I printed the PDF and then I scanned it through the ScanNCut, excuse me, and I added an outline border, and this finished size is about 2¼ inches. So I then just went back into the ScanNCut, put some red card in, loaded the card into the machine, and I cut a circle at 2½ inches. These little plastic cellophane treat bags are available through my Stampin' Up shop, and again the link will be at the beginning of the video, and I will also put it on my blog as well. So if you follow me on my blog, it will be there, and if you follow me on YouTube, it will be there too. And you can buy these. They're in a pack of 50. They come like this, and they're only a few pounds. They're not very expensive, and they will probably fit something like a love heart. I've seen them used in the past. So if you get those little mini packets of love hearts, you'll probably get, I don't know, 10 or so in there, something like that. And they just have a fold over seal, and then I've just stapled it to this red and stuck that one on the top. This is the one I'm going to show you today. This is another set of printable labels from the Idea Room, and I've already cut one just as a test. I'm going to show you how I'm going to scan this in and cut it on the ScanNCut machine. So I'm just going to load it into the machine. Okay, I've loaded the mat into the machine. I'm going to choose scan, and I'm going to choose direct cut and set the machine going. Okay, I'm just going to say OK now because the design has come up on the screen and it's seen all those shapes. Now I don't know how clear you can see because I'm actually at a different camera angle today, but on the screen here you've got the mat. I'm going to drag the handles in just to isolate the space a little bit more. And then there's a plus in a kind of magnifying glass at the top here, and then there are two boxes here, and it's this top box with the circles and the arrows I'm going to select, and the outline distance is set to 0 at the moment. I'm going to click it once, which is 0.04, and say OK, and that will just put a little border all around when it cuts. I'm going to say OK, and they're all there now. I'll just say cut and press go. Okay, so it's finished cutting and I'm going to unload. Just move that out of the way for now. What it had actually done, it had picked up this word somehow on the scan. So I'm not going to use that first one, but we'll take everything off and see what we're left with. So here are all my labels. Just get them all off and I'll show you them in a minute. Get rid of that because I don't need that. Okay, so there are all my labels, all perfectly cut. If I can line them all up. This one says sealed with a kiss. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to take one of these, put it back on the mat, and I'm going to scan it in again. This time I'm going to use ScanNCut data because I want the shape. And say OK, and let's see if it picks it up, because it has got that white border around it now, so I'm not sure whether it will pick it up. If you look on here, don't know how clearly you can see this, but there's the white border that I added, the 0.04 border. I'm going to choose the top one, which is outline. It says processing, so we'll wait and see. Oh yeah, and it's there. I'm going to drag the handles in to isolate the space because I've just used my regular cutting mat and there's all kinds of marks on it. And I'm going to choose save, and I'm going to put it in the machine for now, and it's number 41. I'm going to say OK and unload the mat and take that off. I'm going to get a piece of red card and just rub that down with the handle of my spatula and click home to get rid of that. Load up the mat, go to pattern, saved data, choose the machine, and I'm going to use the up arrow to get to the last page to find number 41, which is the shape I've just saved, and say OK. And once it comes on my mat, I'm going to go to this icon in the top left hand corner, which has got the three shapes on it, the square, the triangle and the circle, I think it is. Then I'm going to come to this arrow here just above the OK and select that, and I'm going to choose the first box here, which is a seam allowance, and I'm going to say OK. But first of all, I'm going to see how many I can get on my mat, so I'll try and cut 4 because I've not got a full sheet of card here, and say OK and OK. Then I'm going to come to this icon with the 3 triangles, and I'm going to just choose the first option and let it, and I can see that those 4 won't fit on my piece of card here, so I'm going to move, I'm going to say OK and then move that one down. Then I'm going to say OK and cut, and this is putting a 3mm border around this shape, so hopefully that will be big enough. And set the machine off. I'm going to say OK and unload, and let's see if these are the right size, and if they're not, I have to cut them again. No, they're not bad. There's a tiny little border. Maybe I could do with a bit bigger. So let's see if we can go back and cut them bigger. So I'm going to load up I'm going to go back to home, delete all those, pattern, save data, machine, last page, number 41, say OK. Then I'm going to go into the settings this time, and I'm going to go to page 3, seam allowance, and it's on a 3mm seam allowance. So I'm going to hit the up arrow and take it to 5 and say OK. Then I'm going to go back into this top icon, then back into here, put the seam allowance on again and choose 4 again. and say OK, because this time I've got a bigger seam allowance, and say OK. Then come to this second icon here with the three triangles, let it organise them, say OK, and I'm going to bring this one down again because I know my piece of card isn't going to extend to give me those in a row, and say OK and cut, and set the machine off again. Just going to push this back. The mat out of the way and look at them this time. So that's better, they're bigger, much better this time. So I've already filled up one of these little bags and I've sealed it. It just folds over and it sticks. I'm going to position that on there, and I'm going to fasten it with a stapler just to hold it in place. Then I'm going to find some adhesive and just put adhesive on the back of this. And put that on there. So that's another one. So there are two little quick treats. My little girl's going to give these out to her friends for Valentine's Day, so I hope you can see them. So this one says, I mustache you a question, will you be mine? And this one says, sealed with a kiss. And then just before I go, I'm going to show you these other little sweetie cases that you can get from my Stampin' Up shop. Now these come in a box and I can't remember how many's in it. Putting my glasses on to see if it tells me. Can't remember, but the details will be on my website. But these are another little, these are cool, these are little, can you see them, plastic, and this is sticky. So I've got another project lined up for you, and with these I'm actually going to be making a little card. I'm going to show you in Canvas how to design it. It's going to have this sitting through it, and this is going to be filled with sweets. It's going to have a back on it that you can get into without wrecking the whole card, and it's going to have a little border on it and a written greeting. So that's going to be another project that I'm going to post in the next week or so. So again, you can find these in my Stampin' Up shop, and if you want to buy them from me, that would be much appreciated, and then you will have them ready to follow me with the tutorial. So I hope you found that helpful. Please like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.